So this one started in what appeared to be some kind of treehouse made out of wood. But it was very empty and secluded, and it wasn't dark. There was a lot of sunlight, but it was still very ominous and creepy for some reason. And the first thing I remember is, oh yeah, and it was kind of like I was inside of some type of game, not a video game, but as if I had been chosen to like be trapped in this treehouse, and I had several objectives that I had to do before they would let me go. And so the first thing that I had to do was there was an axe on the floor, and there was a point on the wall or a section that was made of wooden planks, and it said like hit here. So I picked up the axe and I started breaking away at the wooden boards. And when I broke enough of a hole to see what was on the other side, what I saw was a giraffe. And the giraffe's head was leveled with where I was. So the giraffe was in a very tall room that started from like below the floor where I was. So like I was on this floor and the giraffe was on this floor, but he was so tall that his face was up here because he's a giraffe. And that freaked me out, to be faced with a live, wild animal, giraffe. So I kind of dropped the axe and backed up a little bit, but the giraffe squeezed through the little hole in the wooden panels. And at that point, he kind of morphed from a giraffe to a very large dog, like a dog the size of a lion. And this lion didn't seem aggressive. It seemed playful, like it wanted to play. But that was a bit worrying for me because, like, when my cat is feeling playful, she gets a little bit aggressive, which is not a problem because she's a tiny little cat. But for a lion, that would be a problem because it's a giant lion, a dog the size of a lion. So yeah, this dog was feeling playful in the same way that my cat is playful. And so I was kind of worried that it would try to play with me and accidentally kill me because it's huge. So I was kind of backing away. And the axe that I had in my hand, well, I had dropped it, I think. Yeah, I picked it back up, and now it was like a giant pair of scissors. Like this big, like a small sword or something. And so I was kind of like whacking at the dog to stay away and like poking it in the face, trying to get it to back off. But it was still, trying to play with me. And so I backed into a room, and the lion dog didn't fit in the door, but that room had a very large window, and the lion dog poked its head in through that window. And then I think he squeezed into the window, but he changed now from a giant dog to a regular man. Average height, taller than me, and maybe 30. And he said to me to get down because someone was coming. So I got down under the window, and he went around to hide behind like the doorway of that room. And so we were both hiding, and then this very creepy dude pops over. Well, he looks over the window. He's on the other side of the window, and he's looking over. And I don't remember what exactly was so creepy about him. I think he had like a blue face and like very wide, scary eyes. Something like that. And he started reading to me a passage. Like, in video games when there's a puzzle, and next to the puzzle there will be a passage that if you look through it, you'll find the answer to the puzzle. It was one of those passages that he was reading. And so there were several things, keywords that he was saying within the passage that seemed important to me. And the other dude who had come in and was hiding along with me, he said he was asking me to tell him these keywords that we were finding in what this creepy dude was saying. So I think one of them was like the number 17, and the other one was like a word starting with an S or something. I don't remember what. And I was able to remember 3 of the keywords specifically. I don't remember them now, but at the time I had them, memorized. And then the other dude that was also hiding kept asking me, like, hey, what is he saying? What is he saying? And so I started trying to tell him what this creepy dude was saying, but as I was relaying this message onto the other dude that was hiding, this creepy dude kept on saying what he was saying. He kept on reading off his passage, and so I wasn't able to catch like the second half of it. And then when the blue creepy guy finished reading, he disappeared. And I got up because I no longer had to hide. And I looked around for the other dude that was also hiding, but he disappeared too. And then I looked around in that room, and there was like a weird trapdoor on the floor. And I remembered this trapdoor from earlier. I don't know if earlier in the dream I went through that trapdoor, but I do remember that trapdoor looking familiar. So I went in the trapdoor, and I had to like climb down into the basement because there was like no ladder or stairs. So I had to like climb onto like a chair or like some other like ledge in the wall. I had to climb down basically into the basement, which is what that trapdoor led to. And in this basement, one of the walls had a cube, or not a cube, but some kind of shape in it, some kind of three-dimensional geometric shape. I don't know if it was like, it had like 20 sides because of how it was angled, you know? I don't know if you know what I mean. But anyways, that object was placed in a socket in the wall, and next to that socket, there was a place for a code to be put in. And so, I guess what the passage that the blue man was telling me, and the keywords in it were, you know, the keys to get the right code for this, you know, code, and to select the correct geometric shape. And on a table to my left, there were several geometric shapes, all different colors and all with different numbers of sides. So I was looking for the one with 17 sides because the number that was in the passage that the blue guy was reading was the number 17. So I figured I might as well try the thing with 17 sides. But at this point, the panicked feeling of being in this weird treehouse and kind of trying to escape from the giant dog and then having to hide from the really creepy blue man, like, I don't know, this feeling of creeps, like I had the creeps. It was kind of overwhelming at this point, so I kind of just wanted to leave. And then I noticed there was a dude sitting down in this basement, and I figured that he was one of the people in charge that put me in this treehouse to begin with, to like try to solve this puzzle and go through these obstacles that they wanted me to go through for some reason. So I kind of just told the dude that was sitting there, look, I just want to go. And he was like, if you really want to go and you don't want to try to solve the puzzle, then you can go. But he looked really disappointed about it because, I don't know, I guess they were looking for a dude that could solve the puzzle and overcome all the obstacles that they were throwing at me in this case. But I guess they had been trying this with several people. And so he looked kind of disappointed because I was giving up. I guess the same way that all the other people who they tried before me also gave up. And so yeah, he was kind of bummed, but he showed me the way out, which was back up to the room that we were in. There was another trapdoor that just led outside. So I dropped down outside. And I think at some point in that basement is when I figured out that it was a dream. I'm not sure exactly when, but when the dude was there sitting down in the basement that I told that I wanted to leave, and when he looked disappointed is when I kind of figured in my mind that this whole obstacle course that he was putting me through was in a dream, and that I was in a dream, but that he had given this obstacle course to many people in their dreams, looking for the one person that could solve the puzzle and overcome all the obstacles. Which, I don't know if there actually is a dude invading people's dreams, giving them this obstacle course. There might be, you never know. But that's what I was thinking at the time. So anyways, I dropped out of the second trapdoor, just out of the treehouse, and I dropped into some water. And in the water, there were a lot of little ghosts. Not scary-looking ghosts, but like the kind of ghosts that are just like a little kid with a sheet over them and like with little circles drawn on it. Ghosts like that were like the water was filled with them. And so I kind of swam to a patch of land, and then from that patch of land, I was able to fly. For some reason, I wasn't able to fly from the water out of the water, but once I got on land, I was able to fly. And so on that point, I figured, well, at that point, I figured that I would just kill time flying around until I woke up from this dream. So I was flying, and I didn't have very good control of the flight at first, but I was able to like relax my mind and kind of just calmly say to myself, because I had started flying forward, but I started going too fast. So I kind of tried to calm myself down and just say, stop. And so my flight stopped and I was just hovering in the air. So I was like, good. And then I saw some people in a very tall plateau or something, like a mountain, but with the top of it cut off so that the top of it was just flat, which I guess you would call a plateau. And there were a bunch of weird alien looking people that were dancing around in a circle, doing what seemed to be like some kind of ritual. So I landed on that plateau with them. But it was so crowded on that plateau that I accidentally bumped someone off as I was landing on the plateau. I accidentally, bumped him off the plateau. And so he fell down. And then everyone else got kind of mad, obviously, because I potentially killed their friend. So they started trying to attack me, but I just flew away. And then the planet kind of turned into like an arcade center. And so there were a lot of games around. And there was this one game at the back that people were saying was like the hardest game like in the world or something. So I wanted to try it out. And it was basically like there was a giant TV and in front of it was like the control. Or it was like one control thing like to steer, like a stick, and then in the other hand you would have a gun, like a toy gun, to shoot the screen and try to shoot like some of the asteroids that were coming at you. It was a very basic looking game, but I guess it was super hard. And I don't think I did very well on it. But yeah, that's all I remember. That's all I remember. So yeah, part of me kind of wishes that I would have kept trying to solve the puzzle to just see what would have happened. But it was an interesting dream nonetheless. And yeah, that's all for now. Peace out.